Hello again guys, been a little while since I've done one of these. Let's have another Fly-Day Friday that may not be on a Friday. Oh well. This is the GTeng T901F. And actually, as you can see, this is not in a box, a proper box. It came in just a plain cardboard box, so I'm guessing I got like a pre-production model. I'm okay with that. Let's take a quick look at what comes in the box though. There are actually two USB chargers, 4GB micro SD card reader, 3.7 volt, 500 milliamp hour battery. You've got your controller with built-in FPV screen. I did take a quick look at this earlier and it looks like everything works appropriately except for the video record button, which is one of the key reasons I kind of wanted this to check out. For whatever reason, it just doesn't feel like it's pushing, so I'm guessing it's not going to work right. But you've got your trim buttons, you've got your power button here. It actually did come with batteries in it, which is very nice. If I had to guess, that's why you have two chargers. One's for the battery in the transmitter, one's for the battery in the quad. We'll take more of a look at this here in a minute. We've got 4 spare props and a screwdriver, and the quadcopter itself. It looks like these prop guards are removable, so I may actually go ahead and do that before I go out and fly it the first time. But here's your front-facing camera lens. If I remember correctly, again, 720p camera. Antenna sticking down from the bottom here. It's kind of wedged in there, but I think you can actually take it out and move it around. Battery bay is on the back. Just pop it open and there's where the battery goes. And you know what? Let's go ahead and stick the battery in, plug it in, bind it up and see what all the lights and everything look like. As you might expect, not a whole lot of room in there, so this doesn't really seem to want to close properly. That's pretty close. But there on the underside, you can see we've got blue LEDs in the front, white LEDs in the rear, although on camera they kind of appear like they're blue and blue. But these are very bright blue and these are more of a cool white. Your micro SD card slot is right here. And even though I normally don't, I'm gonna go ahead and test out with the 4GB card just to see how it works. So we just slide it in right there, pop it in place. It does click, click. We turn on the transmitter. Looks like it bound up. And it works. If you're curious how it sounds, it's a little bit loud, but it's not overpoweringly loud. And it is showing a little red LED flashing on the bottom. So we can turn on our screen here by pressing the power button. And you can actually see things. So when I turn the camera around, oh look, there's me in the camera. If I can aim it right. It's angled kind of downward just a little bit. And it doesn't look like the lens can actually be moved. That's okay. But if I hit the record button, nothing's, oh, hey, it is recording. It's just kind of weird. So here's a little bit of what the video would look like from it if it's working appropriately. Just kind of moving it around in pretty decent lighting in here. Doesn't look all that bad on the FPV screen that I've got here. I don't know, we'll just have to see. Then you've also got brightness controls right here, so you can make it brighter or dimmer. That seems to work. And it started recording just by barely tapping it, so it does appear to work. I was consistently able to do it. And mine didn't come with a manual or anything, so I don't really know what the rest of the buttons do, but if I had to guess, one's flip and one's rates in terms of these side bumper buttons. There's two and they're on this side. But you know what, before I get too far into this, I think I'm gonna go ahead and run it through one battery. I mention this all the time. If you have a small quadcopter like this, you always want to make sure to run it through one battery. That means put it at the very lowest speed you can and just let it go until the battery dies. Once it's dead, you charge it back up, you take it outside and fly it okay then. But otherwise, you'll probably end up breaking a motor. You'll end up burning it out. So I'm gonna do that and then we'll go outside with it. All right, let's see how this does. Well, you may be able to see the FPV appears to be working appropriately there. Here we go. So here's our first rate, and there's a spin. Seems to have a little bit of a drift with the spin. It's a pretty decent spin, not bad. But again, it's got a bit of a drift to it. So far, not a bad flyer though. Seems to be decently sporty. That's the third rate I'm flying in right now. I did go ahead and take the prop guards off. Didn't even have to unscrew anything, just pulled them out. That ain't bad. Flies better than expected, aside from just a little bit of a drift. Well, I turn the screen off and back on, and it appears it's recording now, so let's see how it looks. So this should be video from it, if you're seeing this. I did test it out, and it's 720p, and the video quality looks pretty good, actually. At least it was good indoors and good lighting. Definitely not the best flyer. I'm having some weird issues getting it to go where I want it to go. I mean, there is a little bit of a breeze out today, but not that bad. Let's try to do a flip real quick, if I can. Oh, they want to flip. All right. Let's do another one. There's another one. I don't know. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe I've got a weird ailing motor. But it appears to be just having a little bit of trouble controlling. And of course, the button for recording is not working appropriately on the FPV monitor. Let's see if I can just fly FPV for a minute. Well, it's got a really low angle camera, so it's pretty much impossible to do that. I mean, it's fun to fly, I'll give it that much. And I'm actually doing surprisingly well with it. Actually, this may be a 4th rate, because that's got a really fast yaw rate. A really deep pitch. Holy crap. So there's 2, 3, and then 4. And I've continued to have problems getting the camera to stay recording. Not that I really want to record all of this, but still, it's just acting kind of funky. But let's put it back in 2 and see if I can get some stable footage there. There you go. Some stable footage, just kind of sitting still, drifting around a little bit in the yard. Let's take it over to the playset and see how it does over there. Nice and stable and smooth. Feels like it's losing battery. Feels a little bit more sluggish. There we go. I do have LVC warning, so I'll go ahead and stop the recording now. But it did go for about 6 minutes and 45 seconds. I lost some of that, so maybe 6.5 minutes. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap things up. I've flown the quadcopter a few times since that original video and consistently got about 6 to 6.5 minutes of flight time, even using the FPV quite a bit. The biggest downside with this quadcopter for me is just that it is such an early production model. There are some weird issues with the controller, specifically with that video record button, and actually the other people that I've seen reviewing this quadcopter seem to be having the same issue with it, so it may not just be the super early models, it may just be an issue with the controller itself. It doesn't stop it from recording, it just makes it very difficult to get it recording and make sure it is recording. But once you have it recording, it flies very nicely, it takes excellent quality video that can be very stable if you're willing to be very patient with it. So overall, I definitely give this thing a big thumbs up. For about 80 bucks over on GearBest, this is not a bad deal at all, and a great way to get yourself into FPV flying. Although it is a little bit hard to see outdoors because it doesn't have any sort of shade over the controller. So that's going to wrap it up for me for today. Links to where you can find this can be found down in the description. Thanks so much to GearBest for sending this out for me to take a look at. Make sure to leave a thumbs up down below if you like this video, subscribe to receive more, and I will see you again next time.